Yes, I actually noticed that with Philip Tracy. It was the trip before last. He said, "Oh, I've got this journalist to come and sit with me, Christine," because we were going to have lunch after. And the way he shared his story, and it was so sensitive, and he didn't say anything wrong about. He had such compassion for all of the people in his life, and he said, a designer is like, it's never good enough. You work your guts out the back, and you're never happy. From the time it goes out, you're still never happy. And it made me appreciate what he did on our back stair. And we thought he was ignoring us, but he was just doing the best he could for us.
Yeah, he was working so hard.
Mm-hmm. And you realise then what a designer goes through.
Well, that movie about
Albert
was him getting them to change the shoulder pads as the models are walking onto the catwalk. Mm. So take the black out and put white in. The ladies from the atelier are there quickly sewing on the models walking out.
Mm. And one show was delayed because he was so worried that the models weren't comfortable in the shoes, and he got them the right, because he's very caring of women, Albert.
And then he cries when the show's over because he has to say goodbye to the range. It's like, it's this outpouring of emotion.
Yeah. And so many people say they just love to come in because to them it's like a gallery.
Yeah.
And it's not an insult. We're not offended, even if they don't want to buy.
Oh,
but
no.
it's like they're
enjoying
they're soaking it all up, and so that's nice.
And then there was the person who came in and said that she liked to come in, and it saved her spending money on the counsellor. It was better than.
Who said that? Sorry?
One of our clients.
Oh, right.
And she said, "Well, I'd rather spend the money here than on a psychiatrist session." So it's like therapy session. And it is the true description of retail therapy.
Well, it's so funny because we really didn't realise till grandmother's funeral that she was the local town couturier in a country town, Narandra, in the Riverina. Mm. We thought all these ladies we used to visit were her friends, but they used to be her staff. Oh. And of course, the country women are great at a bake-off, so we would love doing these afternoon teas around Narandra, Auntie Rose and the other one, Florrie. And really, it wasn't until her funeral, because Mama used to make us matching outfits, and poor Jane Ann had to wear the third one out, the third matching outfit. They were sort of like out, beautiful dresses to wear to mass, all matching with the hat and everything.
I'd get the hand-me-downs 3 times over, you see. So I'd wear mine out and then the next size.
And we'd go in pains with our grandmother because, we grew up in Sydney, and our parents would put us on the train at Central Station with the shoebox packed with the sandwiches, tied with string, and the big treat was a comic each. Mm. And our older sister had to change trains at Junee, to be sure we were all safe. And then our grandmother would meet us at the station, and she'd done the huge bake-off ready for us. And then we'd be doing baking while we're there, but she'd get us out on all the farms, our uncles, because she was the eldest of 10. They were all out on their sheep wheat properties around Borey Creek and going towards Wagga and Leeton and that. And our brother got the best treats. She made sure the boy, got to drive the tractor. We did other things with cousins, but she always made sure the boy got the right experience for a boy, didn't she? Wasn't that the... Mm. So we didn't realise that she was the local town couturier, and that, she made dresses for the Lady Mayoress and everything. And so the one general store, Richard's, it was like a store for everything, and the deli was down one side with those gauze lift-ups where they passed the food through.
Yeah.
But then the mezzanine was Mama's workrooms. And she used to do salon showings.
And she was the
like
model.
You,
And she kept a very good figure. But her name, she hated her name, which was Jessica May. So she was always called Maidy, wasn't she? I mean, she'd fall off a ladder painting the house and be the doctor, and next thing she's helping the doctor. You know, when all the elder brothers came into town on Friday, they'd just drop in and have afternoon tea with Mama. Yeah, so anyway, she'd go, oh, if the job's worth doing, it's worth doing well. And all those sayings, you go, oh, here she goes, but they've rung in our ear, haven't they? Those
Is that where you get
Don't
your
leave for tomorrow what you couldn't do today, but I do leave for tomorrow.
Oh, Christine
I'm
does.
really bad at putting things off. If I find it a hard thing, I'll put it
You're
off.
the job's worth doing well, and I'm the don't do tomorrow.
Yes, that's right.
I'm bring the deadline forward, Christine. Bring the deadline forward. And Christine's still dithering around trying to get the last detail right.
Is that why you're such a good match?
That's why, because
Yes.
I'm logistics and Christine's the detail
Oh, and we've got
and the
this fabulous
decorator.
uncle because our father's the youngest of 10 or 13.
13.
An Irish family that came to Australia, and they all came in the 1830s. But what did I want to tell about him? Oh, our uncle
Oh, yes.
had a general store in Newtown in Sydney. And we'd go over to their place
It was
on
a deli, yeah.
Yeah, like a deli general store.
Yeah.
And he'd come in on Monday after the weekend, or maybe we'd go over there on Friday night or Saturday night, and our parents would play canasta, and we'd be playing other things, but Janet and I'd be in the shop. The money would be a mess, the merchandising had been...
Christine would re-merchandise and I'd get the till out and start reorganising the money.
So the same roll way
It was
back.
so funny. And we didn't
Yes.
even know until he brought it up at his 90th birthday.
Yes, he was stirring us about this situation. He'd come into the shop the next day and he couldn't find anything because I'd totally rearranged
Moved
it.
everything.
And Janet had fixed the finances. The funny thing is that when I've been buying off Cutler and Ross for 30 years. I've been buying off Philip for at least 25. And you don't realise till now that you've been growing up side by side all those years. So there's that layer. And then, starting a brand in Australia like Prada when nobody knew who it was, and going through that evolution was always just the drive of what you see and the must-have. I still am in total admiration of Albert. Who else is there that's so wonderful? I just see him in the selling room because I'm inclined to go there on the first day and he's there questioning the finish of a bag and he's just workshopping everything. He's not there every other day, but it's fun seeing him after the show. He's back with all the product and there's other people running around perfecting the floors, but then he's doing his thing too, and it's wonderful to see that passion. I love the shock of the new. That's what I say. It's about the hunt and the catch and beating everyone else to it. And then, always when I come back, the thing that shocked me the most is the thing I can't stop talking about. Because it's so exciting when people take things beyond our imagination. And I always feel like when I'm travelling, I'm on the outside of the planet looking down at all of these mad people running around this planet making more and more beautiful things that we don't need, but they're so beautiful we must have them. And it's got to be pretty beautiful, otherwise, well, why are we doing it? You know what I mean? Making more stuff. And when you see that level of landfill, why are we doing it? As I say, it's very easy to buy that and it's very hard to buy that. You can justify a beautiful thing, And I find the hardest thing is to buy the most ordinary basic pair of thongs in what colour? What do I buy, you know? Big decision. And I just marvel at little Sia Taylor with her gold, to just keep reinventing a dot in fine gold jewellery. She just keeps doing 20 million variations of a dot. And that's really nice, isn't it? To keep honing in and yeah. And then Philip, of course, blows me away, because you see him there and he's got these flowers in his atelier, and he's being, you know, he's being inspired by botanic things, and he watches that thing grow. It could be quite sadly growing and unhealthy, but he's observing that shape, and he always invents another thing. It's like that.
So he has a dead flower or something.
Well, he has some orchids growing,
but they're not well looked after.
Yeah, they're not looking, you know, they're looking a bit sad, but it's the reality of that
shape.
Botanic thing happening, that he gets ideas as a form, and he's doing some sunglasses at the moment. I thought that'd be right. He's creating sunglasses without hinges. You know, because I said to him, you need to do sunglasses because it's so right for you. And they don't have hinges. They just go on the face, but they're very sci-fi, so it'll be interesting to see. And he's collaborated with a Japanese company, so he kind of sources things out. It's interesting. Yeah, there's client feedback I can give them that they don't get from a lot of people. And they're quite surprised then to have this feedback, because I once told Annie, how much you've got the wallet upside down for Australia. You know, this is upside down. Because Americans open the wallet one way, we open it that way, and they open it that way. I mean, I love the Victorian market and the organics and the fishmonger, the best fish, and it's that sort of thing. We love Australia, don't we? We do. What else? What else do you love?
I love architecture and interiors and design. That's what excites me.
Because Joan was a fabulous lamp designer. And Joan can tool up and do anything. She can make cabinets, and she's very, you know, resourceful with a tool.
She means I find that they're usually just loving learning so much.
They love the experience.
They love learning about the detail, and it's just, your detail about the stock, I'm detail about all of the
other things,
bookwork and
But
it's all good grounding, like our grandmother gave us.
And they love the clientele.
They love the fact that we
respond to
have
us.
such lovely customers, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing is, because we're one store, we haven't got the grand job for anyone. You know what I mean? Because we're doing it. We're living it and doing it. So we're in the way for the grand job, aren't we? That's what we kind of worked out.
Yeah. We can't sort of promise anyone any kind of position there.
Great career, if you know what I mean.
All we can do is...
We get in the way.
All we can do is teach them.
We all grew up in George's, and we talked about how you spent 20 years getting your experience. You didn't expect to get it in a year and want to run something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we talked about that because he worked behind Noel Lucas, who was a real icon. You probably don't remember Noel Lucas. He did the gift area. He was kind of a character like Reg Livermore, a real comedy, small gay man, and he ran a really good, it was the gift store at the hostess store entry, very successful business. And I mean, Martin went on and did all sorts of things after that, above and beyond working back of house for the state government. But he's done a lot of things, hasn't he? But that's the starting point.
Did you love being at George's?
Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah. And Jane, you supplied
I was there too.
George's,
I was
didn't you?
at George's for 4 years, I think.
But you did a lot younger than... Because Joan...
72 to 78.
Right.
Oh no, so it was 6 years.
Yeah, Joan headed up some new departments, like
I did the paper shop.
when
and
fashion
then-
stationery started, so she created that.
And then I did the accessories on the 3rd floor, which was the Young Colony accessories. So Christine and I were sort of, are you having it or will I have it?
Tagging, competing.
And that was it, wasn't it? Just the 3rd floor and the 1st floor, ground floor. And then I started my own business from there.
Yes, we love sharing the stories, but then how do you help someone edit? Yeah, so you've got to kind of be really respectful of their style and what they've got already. It's all the layers, isn't it? Doing show and tell and then letting them respond to it really, in a way. And then you get the signal of the sort of thing they like, whatever. But it's letting them feel comfortable to try it on, because on the whole Australians are still very timid consumers. And they'll walk into a place and they won't touch and it's helping them bring it to life and to try. Don't you think?
Putting it on. And feeling comfortable with having 7 bags over at the mirror, or, just encouraging them to put them on. And but also I think people pick up on someone who's enthusiastic about the product, and then they can relax and just enjoy looking at it and trying it, because they understand that you're enjoying putting it on them. So I think that's really it, isn't it?
Well, we've got great quotes from customers too, like people say, oh, I'd love to have a sleepover in here. And another person said, oh, this is like shopping in Paris without the airfare. And I think our other favourite one, a gorgeous woman from Ballarat who bought that lovely Anya Hindmarch coat, and apparently when they left the store they were going down to get something else for spring racing. She said, that store is so beautiful, it makes me quiver. Yeah, the daughter said,
it makes me quiver. And she was, how old was the daughter? About 15 or 16?
Yes, well, we're really an accessory store with some additions. I start with an accessory and keep going. Like whether it's swash, starting with scarves and adding. But everything has an accessory mindset, so it's a wardrobe hook. It's not too much thinking on an outfit. It's more about that right bell-staff jacket I must have in my life. It's the same thing as buying a bag. And then the main thing with Australian designers is they better be from Melbourne. Because everyone else can brag about everyone else, but we better be something about Melbourne. I suppose the amusement with the Philip Tracy, I placed the order of it. Oh, that mask is beautiful, but it's $13,000. So I sent my order off. The next morning I emailed them and said, please add the mask. You've got to have these things. It's very important, isn't it?
Do you think it will sell?
Beautiful. I don't know. It looks very nice. Was it? No, it was the crystal one.
Oh,
that was the one.
We did sell it.
And we did sell it. This is another edition now. That's the next collection. This beautiful, it was the Beano shape, the oval pillbox, totally hand-studded, completely in Swarovski crystal.
Yes, because it was this sort of shape.
And that was how much? That wasn't 13. I thought it was big being, what was it, 6,000?
Oh,
Now we've gone further now. You see, I just keep going up. I'm
See,
getting more
it was this
comfortable.
shape. Do you remember seeing that shape with all the Swarovski crystals all over?
It was amazing.
And it was a lady from Scotland and she got it for her son's wedding. It's just the constant shock of the new and the creativity of this world. It's amazing. And I constantly say fashion is a language, and it's reading where things are going and why, and then relating it as a language to what's happening in Australia and Melbourne, because it's a very different thing everywhere. And there's many interactive influences as to why something's right and why it's not right. And the whole inter-influencing of music, architecture, all the layers of creativity happening. I just pick up, I constantly, when I go away, I see a shift, and then I start to understand why the shift, and things start coming to you as to why, and it all just tells you something. And of course it's all much faster now, isn't it? It's interesting because it's when something's presented at you, you think, oh my God, that looked amazing. Yes, it's seen. It's a language with your eyes, and you pick up things and you never forget them. And it was actually the lady at Philip Tracy once. She showed me this amazing red hat with red poppies, and she picked up the bag that had the red satin bag was the same as the trim on the hat, and I thought, God, that looks incredible. It was like a magic show in front of me, and I realised that 2 points, no, not the shoe, 2 points, never 3, and I mean, we all love in interiors and garden design, it's always uneven numbers, 1, 3 or 5, but in this case, 2 points, never 3. I mean, if you had something buttressed up here with the hat, that could still be 1 point, but you can't do contrasts all over the place. So it's the experience of visually seeing things, you realise how it all works. And we joke about how if it's all up here, it's uplift and you don't need the Botox or the plastic surgery. But I have to check the room before I say those things. Yes. We have to be careful. But the youth of today are resorting to that instead of knowing the art of dressing. The art of dressing is all about illusion. And you can make anything look fabulous with those little tweaks. This is Spring Summer from Philip. They're about to land into the Christine store. We're just doing stock take and they'll be swooping down there then, sail away and Philip out. And yes, so more and more people are wanting hats for special occasion as much as for spring racing, but Melbourne is famous for spring racing. I mean, historically, it's something particular for Melbourne. I know a lot of English people have been out for the spring races and they just can't believe how huge it is here. And everyone's hoping to do the model off Flemington. But when you think about it, we were invited into the inner sanctum at the track, and there's photos there, I don't know, in the 18th century, and it looks as busy then. And to think a train line was built, I mean, how planned is that? There's no city with that sort of planning. Melbourne's had all that planning. Yeah, so that's Philip's famous side sweep. And now his signature orchids. That is the back and that's the side, yes.
It's beautiful.
White on white.
Just beautiful.
And we joke about it being the talking, kissing side and the hiding side. It's very almost Elizabethan, isn't it?
Oh, if I move these, I'll move some of these because you were lying on this side.
Yes.
Can you remember?
No.
It was after race day. And you were having just the littlest catnap because you'd been up, you know, the show had been on, you'd been up, and I thought that is the most brilliant thing I have seen in a long time. And you were just there with everything, shoes, everything, hat, everything, and as I say, 10 or 15 minutes later you were up as if you were as fresh as a daisy.
That's a pretty one, like the flesh colour, isn't it? Oh, like this?
Yes, it was like that. But you had a hat on.
Oh, you need one? More than a...
What do you think? That one's quite spectacular.
I think something more contrast. I suppose that's pretty.
Would black be better?
Yeah, I think black would be better, wouldn't it? Oh no, the black will disappear against the Persian.
The head, yeah. I know, I loved it.
I haven't got scissors. I could cut the...
Yeah, you won't see the tag.
No, you won't even see it.
Of course it goes, yeah.
How's that? Am I away from there enough?
You were?
That's good, yeah.
That was it.
Oops.
I hadn't seen these before. I haven't seen these until now, you see, so that's why. It's like, oh.
See in it, sorry.
It does lack red, doesn't it? Does it lack... I mean, that blue's a no-brainer.
That's amazing.
What's that one? Oh, gorgeous, isn't it? And that little diamantes, Swarovski crystal.
Yes, it's good because it just creates a little bit of something without being too heavy, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Is it powder colour, that one?
Yeah, it's gorgeous with that little halo.
Beautiful. That's a Philip Placey orchid. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? Oh, Joan, isn't it beautiful?
Lovely.
That is really spectacular.
This one, Christine. Open your eyes. Oh,
that is so beautiful.
Yeah. Because it's really about the enjoyment of showing people the product. It's not, there's not another agenda, you know.